Hello, everybody, and welcome to yet another edition of Paradigm Shift in Educational Comedy. I'm Dave Kelso, and I've got a lot of updates to fill people in on. Personal, geopolitical, esoteric, technology. Oh, lots of stuff in the grab bag for everybody. I am going to turn off the video at the moment because other than having like no sleep and being dead freaking tired and not wanting to blast more light in my face and blind myself to be able to have a better view on the screen when the view of me for this particular PSEC episode is utterly irrelevant. I just kind of like to focus on the details of the content itself, the data itself, and of course, I mean, I'll do as needed, screen shares and and stuff for illustration and things like that as needed. But yeah, just bear with me because I'm very tired. It's going to be a slightly different format than I normally do because, like, usually PSEC episodes are pretty topic specific. I mean, we tend to segue a lot, of course, but we're usually pretty locked in on one topic or another. So like, yeah, for the title, like I listed the like the first three like priority like topics or whatever, but there's actually a big long list, so I don't want to harp on any particular topic for longer than I have to, as a result of that, obviously. And again, bear with me. I am tired, so I'm not necessarily going to be speaking as articulately or whatever, and this is just kind of total extreme of consciousness here, if you want to call it that. In other words, there's no organized list. There's no, I don't have like a bullet list or a script or anything like that. So yeah. Also, my usual warning that anything I say is my opinion. Hell, if I say something is a fact, it's my opinion that it's a fact. So, I'm just a guy looking out at the world and, making up my own mind about stuff. So, please don't take me as any sort of source or authority or what have you. I'm no better than anybody else out there looking out at stuff and just making up their mind about shit. So yeah, let's what I'm also you're gonna hear me pause to like take drinks and maybe a few puffs on my pipe and things like that. So bear with me on that. Just giving the courtesy warnings here. So moving into the first bit of tomfuckery, the YouTube headquarters shooting. Holy crap. There is like so many really good articles and videos and stuff on that out there already. Like one of the best is from Red Ice TV. I think they did a really good job of breaking everything down very logically and in as non-biased of a way as possible. Although do keep in mind that anything coming out of the mouth of a human being from the mind of a human being is going to be biased to some degree. That just simply can't be helped. It's how humans roll. But I think that overall, this particular video on it was as non-biased as possible. Red Ice TV, Iranian SJW Nassim Agdam shot up YouTube because of censorship and discrimination. Yeah, and kind of like how I posted on my Facebook this morning, I said the YouTube headquarters shooter was a leftist, and I mentioned this only to state that the claim that YouTube singled out conservatives in their purge is utterly false. YouTube has lost its mind completely, and their bias was against anyone who disagreed with them on their politics, and just as many on the left as the right disagreed with YouTube on a great many things. Hell, from what I've seen, you didn't even have to disagree with YouTube. Like, I've seen like health food channels and crap like get taken down. It's like, so what? Like eating your broccoli is like racist now or something? I don't know. The fuck if I know. YouTube. I mean, I talk about reality being a quantum mirror, and like, how New Agers and stuff with the law of attraction, they have kind of a fundamental misunderstanding. Like they think it only counts as manifesting if it strokes their ego, but otherwise if it doesn't, they think they did something wrong, because a lot of these new agey narcissisty types, they don't want to take personal responsibility for their shit. They're all like shun the darky and stuff. So, oh, we can't look at the problems, we can't look at the mess. No, 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 that's giving power to the dark. Oh, what you resist persists. Da da da. Yeah, what you resist persists. If you resist the knowledge about problems and their solutions, then the problems will persist. So yeah, in that context, exactly. So yeah, the whole universe being a fractal and the quantum mirror and all that stuff. I think this is just a very accurate real life example of tomfuckery reflecting tomfuckery. Call it karma, call it divine retribution, like call it whatever you want. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not advocating anybody like shooting up anything, and I'm definitely not defending the shooter. The shooter was batshit fucking insane, which is my point, because YouTube has gone batshit fucking insane as well. So, reality mirroring reality, as they say in esoteric circles, it's just like, what the fuck do you expect, YouTube? You're acting like a bunch of batshit fucking lunatics. So, what are you going to manifest and attract to you? I don't know. Other batshit fucking lunatics? I mean, this shouldn't even be esoterics. This should be like simple logic. You piss into a fan, you're going to have blowback. This should not be any sort of grand, higher frequency frickin' like wisdom here. This should be something that like a 6-year-old should be able to identify as what I like to call not so common sense. So yeah, I mean, it really wouldn't surprise me. And again, I'm not advocating anybody do anything. Violence is bad. Shooting people up is bad. Don't do it. And if you are feeling like you might want to do that, seek fucking professional help or put yourself in a straitjacket or something. But anyway, so yeah, it's just like, consequences for actions, guys. And, this is, I think, a fair consequence for YouTube's tomfuckery. Fair simply, again, in the physics context of you piss into a fan and you will get the blowback spray. Anybody who expects to piss into a fan and not get the blowback spray is basically just delusional. Or anybody who wants to go whack the bear with the stick and expecting the bear to not retaliate in some way, shape, or form, or maul your ass or kill you or whatever. It's like, I don't think that I'm speaking any sort of higher wisdom here. This should be basic common sense. I mean, in today's world, it's totally not. People expect to hit the bear like a piñata and expect candy to like fly out its ass to make the children happy, but that's a logical fallacy, because even though you can hit a piñata with a stick, a bear isn't a piñata, and there's going to be a very different consequence for that one. I mean, yeah. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. It's just been like, wow. And the memes for all of this stuff have been kind of going wild here. And to add to the comedy aspects of this, as well as the educational aspects here, this being an educational comedy after all, I think I'll go into screen share mode for just a moment, and let you guys all kind of, you know, view some of the memes with me here. I mean, I've posted a bunch to Facebook, and I'm just, you know, I'm going to screen share that right quick. Infinite Google Tunnel. Okay, cool. Okay, this one I personally made. In case you couldn't tell, this is, you know, Queen Cunt herself, Susan Wojcicki, however you say her name. Execute Order 66. uh, and with this one, I also made this one in a part of the Red Ice video. They also had the same sentiment. I didn't get it from them. They didn't get it from me. It's just kind of, you know, great minds think alike, I guess. YouTube, this changes nothing. We are still going to insist that gun-free zones work perfectly. Yeah. In other words, you could drop a freaking tactical nuke on them and they're still not going to face reality. They're still going to deny reality. They, you know, they are still going to say that up is down and down is up and left is potato and right is garbage can. You know, because, you know, it is what you say it is, right, guys? You know, fuck facts. I mean, you know, if you want to think that, you know, unicorns are going to come flying out of your ass, sprinkling pixie dust everywhere, hey, that's reality, according to YouTube. And there is nothing that actual reality can do to YouTube that will change YouTube's mind, because they are immune to reality and immune to facts. YouTube HQ is unavailable. Sorry about that. Demonetize this, motherfuckers! Yeah, I did make this one. I'll admit to that. When you ban gun-related content, so your biggest fan brings the content directly to you. YouTube demonetizes pro-gun content. YouTube bans gun videos. YouTube becomes a gun-free zone and immediately suffers at the hands of a shooter. Oh, boy. Now, this one here I did. YouTube Purge, March 2018. This account has been suspended due to multiple severe violations of YouTube's policy prohibiting hate speech. Said Dankula did nothing wrong. YouTube Purge, April 2018. Used the wrong pronoun. YouTube HQ on lockdown after reports of shooting. I mean, of course, this is just joking about it. It's not literal. And then, of course, somebody I know from a Discord server I'm on said, "Man, some titty streamer must be mad about being demonetized." This was at a time when we didn't know the full story, so it's like, yeah, he was basically right. And then, of course, I've been posting some other stuff here, like, you know, here's the power of human creativity. If you want to create a totalitarian dystopia, you don't actually need a conspiracy to do it. All you need is to feed these sorts of ideas into people's heads and they'll build it for you. You won't even have to force them or ask them to. So all you really need to stop this from happening is to put out better ideas, make those ideas more trendy than tyranny, and once your ideas gain higher popularity, people will begin to build that world instead. Yeah, pretty fucking much. And I also posted this because like this is like one of my beefs with like humanity, especially lately. So many things that are true are placed in the realm of conspiracy theory, and yet they really don't require a conspiracy to make them happen. I think people overcomplicate the living shit out of everything. People wake up to ideas such as, "Oh my God, big business kills people for money." And I'm like, yeah, since the beginning of time. This has been the status quo of excuse me, this has been the status quo of human history. No cigar-smoking figures in a dark room sitting around a table required. So many people these days think that so many things require these grand sci-fi TV level scenarios in order for something to be true, because we've romanticized everything with TV. People have forgotten that sometimes humans are just dicks. No grand theatrics required. Yeah. And then down here, Maddie Jarbo says because people don't understand the words conspiracy or theory, they just understand it as a phrase used to discredit anything that doesn't agree with the prescribed truth they get from MSN or pick your news outlet there. This is my comment on mass shootings in general. For those considering doing mass shootings, I get where you're coming from, but you're operating on obsolete data and a flawed strategy. I'm not trying to sound trendy or hipster when I say mass shootings are so 1990s. Back in those, it was understood that when this type of shit happens, that it is an outcry to bring attention to a failure of society to correct a problem that it wasn't wanting to look at, much less fix. Back then, people actually wanted to interview the shooters and understand things from their perspectives. Well, I hate to tell you, but those days are gone. All anyone gives a fuck about now is being told how to think by talking heads in the entertainment fake news industry. By the way, that includes independent as well, truth movement, etc., new age gurus, whatever. Like, there's nothing wrong with all sorts of different outlets putting out their perspective, but goddamn, people lock into group think too much. They don't want to know why you did what you did, and they don't care what you think. They care they care about the opinions of what talking heads think about what you did. The real reasons are unimportant to the masses right now. This is because the masses are as stressed as you, as fed up as you, have the same anxiety that you have. It is just that in their apathy, they aren't shooting up a bunch of fucking people. So all you're doing is providing even more theater for the masses so that they can treat real life as if it is the next episode of their favorite TV show. You're doing the polar opposite of what you're intending to do. You're ensuring your failure even before you begin to try. Suicide is a similarly bad idea. Oh, and by the way, that reminds me, YouTube shooter Chickie, yeah, she offed herself. Fail. Suicide is a similarly failed idea. You just become another statistic. Your point does not get made. Instead of being self-defeating, make a BitChute or Daily Motion channel or something, and start a conversation about what you feel is wrong with society, and maybe even propose some ideas for solutions. Complaints are all well and fine, but an echo chamber of nothing but bitching doesn't fix anything either. You're obviously not going to be afraid that people might hate you for speaking your truth if you're not afraid of being arrested for doing a mass shooting. So start a conversation instead of shooting people. Just saying. Yeah, I mean, doesn't this world have enough freaking insanity right now? Like, seriously, like, do we really need to add all this tomfuckery? Do we really? Ugh. Anyway, I guess that's all I could say on the YouTube headquarters shooting stuff. The only thing I can wrap up on that as far as like YouTube itself is like, yeah, they're going to continue their tomfuckery. They have deplatformed people that have been bringing them in like tons of revenue, and like all this isn't going to stop. I mean, they're pretty much going to curse themselves into just running themselves straight into the ground. Like, Susan Wojcicki is a brainless twit, and most of the YouTube staff over there, I mean, I can't say exclusively absolutely everyone over there, period, with no exceptions, but I'll just say the vast majority are equally suffering from brain rot, and they're not going to see the light of day. They're going to run the company to the ground. and then it's going to get bought out by, Google's going to cut its losses and sell it. It's going to get bought out by another company who hopefully will learn from Google and YouTube's mistakes and not make the same ones. The king is dead, long live the king. All right, so that's that. I mean, it's happened with DeviantArt once already. There was too much tomfuckery going on, and Wix bought it out. There's still some levels of tomfuckery going on. Not all of the mistakes were learned from, but a good bulk of them actually were learned from. And Wix is doing better than DeviantArt on its own originally did. So there's just yet another example of when a site is popular enough, it doesn't technically die. It's just the phoenix. It burns. It rises from the ashes into a new incarnation of itself. So that is where I think YouTube is headed, which is why I say, mirror your stuff on BitChute, DTube, Dailymotion. You can do adless monetization of BitChute and whatever else you want to do through Steemit. I'm on a bunch of these types of different social networks, and when you look in the description details of my videos and stuff, I got links to take you to places that list all the rest of my links for all the rest of the stuff. And yeah, you could basically find us on every social media network that we're on. And I wouldn't be on a social media network if I didn't think it provided at least some value or benefit of some sort in some way. So anything I have linked in any way, shape, or form, period, like that, just kind of consider that as a recommendation to check it out. Because we really need to support these alternative platforms and, get them growing big and get them doing good. And in future videos, I'm definitely going to definitely going to want to focus on some of these platforms and and technology specifically, and go into a lot of specific detail, because a lot of these are really, really, really cool. But excuse me, that's not going to be this video, because again, I'm just trying to move through topics. Alrighty. Oh, I need to wet my freaking throat before it cracks. So anyway, moving on to the next topic. David HOGG. There is so much you could find about the whole David HOGG situation. So again, similarly, I'm only going to touch on the basics and my basic perspectives. For all the extended information, there are so many videos, so many articles, so many things you can look up. And I think for the best assessment of the David HOGG situation, I think that Steven Crowder, Louder with Crowder, he does an incredibly good job of summarizing it efficiently. He is a bit of a cheeseball. Some people think that Crowder's kind of cringy, but cheeseball or not, cringy or not, I think he's spot on with most of what he has said about this issue. And he's also interviewed Kyle Kashev. I think I'm pronouncing that name right. Hopefully I am. If I'm not, my apologies, Kyle. I'm not trying to bastardize your name on purpose. Kyle is one who feels that, instead of, all of this, totalitarian gun legislation that Mr. HOGG seems to love so dearly, that preventative measures might be better, dealing with things on the human issue, the human level, the human element, because, gun's just a tool. Ban spoons, they made me fat. You could ban all the tools in the world, until the whole planet is a bigger safe space than frickin' child-proofing your bathroom. And all it will do is just create an increasingly more retarded society with an even greater refusal to take personal responsibility. By the way, responsibility is your ability to respond rather than react like a fucking imploding retard. Just saying. Anyway, yeah, just wanted to point out some more of that not so common sense. Alrighty, so yeah, we can emotionally and in every other way insulate, people to the point of skirting responsibility to such a point that humanity just completely implodes and Darwin's itself utterly. No, I don't think that's what's going to happen. I'm just pointing out the whole stupidity of banning tools and blaming tools, and that one precedent sets the next precedent for the next precedent for the next precedent. And it just continues to devolve into layers of stupidity that begin to approach science fiction levels, or at the very least, Tom and Jerry cartoon levels. I mean, my God, I look around at the world today, and at best, we're living in a sitcom. At worst, we're living in a cartoon. So yeah, it's just like, wow. So okay, with all that said, Kyle's been calm and cool and collective, in my opinion, from what I've seen from his interviews. He's happy to talk to people calmly who have opposing viewpoints. He's been on Piers Morgan. Kyle's not looking for an echo chamber of, yay, everybody sing Kyle's praises and say the same things and woo-hoo-hoo, like David Hogg is doing. Kyle has asked Mr. Hogg multiple times, hey, let's get on a live interview. Let's have a civil discussion. Let's kind of reach across the aisle, as it were. Let's bring both sides together. Let's figure out what, if anything, we can agree on and actually go from there. But no. Mr. Hogg, I'm sorry, there's no other way for me to say it. He's a limelight whore. Granted, I do agree that there are more than just a few scary parallels to the way, the way he conducts himself versus, I don't know, the historical whole, Hitler Youth thing. But no, I don't think he wakes up in the morning saluting the mirror with the Zig Heil with, master plans for world domination. What I think is that he is geopolitically ignorant. I think he is absolutely clueless about the implications of anything he's saying or doing. I think that he views the mainstream media as his authority, as a godlike figure. And so this authority, this godlike figure, has come down from heaven, from his perspective, and said, David Hogg, will you please be our hero? You are our hero. Will you please continue to be our fucking hero? Oh, David Hogg, let us kiss your ass. Let us make it moist. Let us make it ever so moist. So, yeah, from David Hogg's perspective, he's just, he's an arrogant bully, let's face it. I mean, I've seen, his type are a dime a dozen. A half brain dead retard can look at this guy and see the obvious that, yeah, he's kind of a douche. He's kind of a bully. He's got that going on. The way he, the way he conducts himself with people, the way he hangs up on the president and then brags about it. Yeah, I mean, he's a douche, okay? Just as a person. All geopolitics aside, let's like pretend in a parallel universe that the shooting never happened. There's David Hogg, the douche, with this douchey little clique tormenting people and just being douchey and walking around the school being douchey. And yeah, in this parallel universe reality, the common denominator is douchebag. So that has nothing to do with, the shooting or gun control or da-di-da or any of the geopolitics. But one thing I also find interesting is some people have told me, but this this kid's personality has nothing to do with the politics. Let's talk about the issues. Let's talk about the issues. Let's talk about the issues. It's like, okay, I'm sorry, but I mean, again, thankfully with the whole Count Dankula situation, the UK absolutely killed Godwin's law. It's dead. Thanks, UK. So I don't think I have to worry about that being invoked in saying that I think Hitler's personality had a lot to do with where he got. He was batshit insane and determined at the exact same time. And originally, he was a very unarticulate frickin' speaker until the Thula Society, however that's pronounced, basically groomed him, kind of like how the mainstream media is grooming HOGG. And, Hitler became an eloquent speaker and very charismatic and so on and so on. And Hitler was still yet another David Hogg type, arrogant douchebag. I mean, again, the archetype is there. I even think that David Hogg is probably well-intended. I mean, nobody gets up in the morning and says, wow, I think I recognize that I'm a total douchebag and I really want to do some evil today. Let's go out and see what kind of evil that I can do today. Yeah, let's do that because evil is for the fucking win. No, like nobody does that. Even Hitler felt that, his final solution was a reluctant necessity that in the long term would save humanity and blah, 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 blah. So, nobody, or at the very least 99.99999% people, even tyrants, get up in the morning and say, yeah, I love it that I'm an evil bastard. I'm gonna go out and do some evil today because that's just sexy. No, who does that? No. So no, I don't think that David Hogg is evil with plans of world domination and blah, 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 blah. No, I just think that when you give a blowtorch to a 3-year-old, disaster happens. And so, yes, his personality has a lot to do with things. And, oh my God, you can't attack my perspective because I'm just a teenager. Guess what? The adult world sucks, and adults have more practice being dicks for longer than you have, and Mr. Hogg, if you can't handle the adult world, then GTFO. Alrighty? It's not for you. These aren't the droids you're looking for. Move along back to high school land where there are people that you actually can succeed in bullying, whereas the American public is going to be just a wee bit more difficult of a challenge. Yeah. If you can't take the heat, get out the kitchen. Yeah, but I'm just a teenager. Guess what? You're 17. You're almost going to be 18. Soon you're going to be a legal adult, and you won't be able to, like use that little, but I'm just a teenager card. No, you're in the adult world. Fucking man up or get out. Sorry. That's, I'm just laying it out there. Back up your talk. Stop crying. If you can get up there and not even realize that we're supposed to be living in a democratic republic, oh gee, how does that Pledge of Allegiance go? And to the republic for which it stands, one nation. Oh, I didn't hear. And to the democracy, I heard to the frickin' republic, because we're supposed to have a democratic republic, which is indicative of a checks and balances system between government representatives and the frickin' people. Democracy, literally translated from the Latin, means rule of mafia or mob rule. So yeah, I understand that you want full-blown democracy instead of a democratic republic. You want your little echo chamber mob to be the dominating authority over everybody else, but that's not freedom. I mean, I know you're well-intended. I know you think that that's somehow freedom, but you might want to check yourself before you wreck yourself. So yeah, that's kind of where I am on that. David Hogg, I don't hate you or anything. I can think you're a douche without harboring hate. I can recognize that all you want is an echo chamber of people agreeing with you, and I can recognize that without harboring any sort of hatred or animosity or anything like that towards you at all. In fact, I hope that one of these days you grow the fuck up and pull your head out of your ass so that you can succeed in the adult world and be as successful and prosperous, and sky's the limit. Because let's face it, when it comes to your looks, I mean, other than kind of looking like a Joseph Goebbels, you do kind of got like that movie star kind of like look going on, and like the way you talk, you've definitely got that like that attention grabbing, reel them in, sort of like you can grab people's attention and keep them focused. And if your head was out of your ass, you could really actually use your looks and your skills to really do like some productive shit and probably make like a lot of freaking money, like no joke, if only you one day realize it. I don't know if you will. I don't know if you'll even watch this. Is if you are as utterly obsessed as I think you might be, you probably will eventually be getting down to watching this eventually, because you probably do your best to watch every single frickin' video that even just loosely mentions your name, because that's typically what raging narcissists do. So I'm sure eventually you'll get around to this, and it might take a year or something. I know you're a busy guy, and there's just lots of opinions to look through and shoot down and take a steaming pile of crap all over. But yeah. So I mean, might take you a while. I know I'm not exactly like first on the priority list or anything, but eventually, when you get here, and when you listen to this, hopefully by then you might be a little more open-minded to some of these words of wisdom, because you got the movie star look, man, no joke, and you've got the skill, you've got the charismatic skill, you've got the bling going on, you've got the attention grabbing, no fucking joke. You can go really far in this world, especially in entertainment. As a matter of fact, with your head pulled out of your ass, you might even learn to have this thing called a sense of humor. And then you'll have this charisma and the looks and the sense of humor. And like, dude, you could end up like making $1 million a second, like famola bling all over the place. But, I hope you do. I really hope you do. I hope like 10, 15 years down the line, David Hogg is a household respected name instead of like the latest internet fart joke that there's fuck tons of memes made about. So yeah, wishing you all the best of luck on that, dude. So moving on. No Party System. Here's a website called nopartysystem.com, as well as the nopartysystem.com Discord server, and it is run by John Means, aka the Anti-Partisan, and it's basically for people who are sick of the left-right dichotomy dickwag, and who want to at least try to figure out how to like collaborate and work together and share ideas. So it's like, on this thing, right, you've got people who you might classify as liberal. You got people who you might classify as conservative. You got people who you might classify as centrist, such as myself, and I have a slight liberal lean. But here's the thing. We all have one very important thing in common. We're all looking around at the world, looking around at the dickwag, and going like, wow, this is crock shit. It's not really doing anything. And I think we need to focus on what we have in common, instead of, doing the dickwag about our differences, and, try to figure out, some ideas and ways to collaborate and whatever to, at least, try to make this world even just a slightly tiny teensy little weeny bit better of a place, than it was the day before. It's not a movement. It's not a save the world thing. We're not a bunch of gurus or fucking whatever. We're just people, regular people, just like all the rest of you. We're just looking around like, this is some fucked up shit. And, we just, there needs to be some conversations had about this stuff. The conversations that do not fall under the category of left, right, dick measuring contest. So yeah. Inevitably, it might not be right away. I'm backlogged on like putting in social media descriptions for a lot of the PSEC episodes and stuff. I'm doing my best to not stress about that and just, getting to these things as I get to these things, because if I stress about it, I'll procrastinate and I'll never, ever, ever get to it. But what you're going to eventually end up seeing for in the description field on this video, at least on like the YouTube end and Daily Motion end and whatever, is a link to a DeviantArt journal. It's gonna have lots of other links in it. And yeah, regardless of where you're watching this, there's gonna be links. But some of the social media sites, I put like the full, like all the links list for everything, and for others, I just give just a one link to the to a journal to simplify things. And YouTube and Daily Motion definitely fall under the journal category. But anyway, once that's there and I write the journal up and, you're looking at the journal, anywhere you see no party system, you're going to notice that shit's going to be hyperlinked. And the hyperlink is going to be the invite to the Discord server. Yeah. So, we basically have most of the PSEC crew up in this bitch already, so that's pretty cool. Or it's like a PSEC media section on the community channels thing, text and voice rooms, and you've got, the main community channels, and excuse me, yep. There's like just shy of 100 people on this, if I recall. I mean, I don't know exactly how many people. I haven't really checked lately. I'm basically stating that it's under 100. I'm not saying that like, oh my God, we're piling it in. Holy shit. No, I'm not making any claims like that. But so far, we got a pretty nice group in here. And if you want to add this Discord server, that would be cool. It would be appreciated. And yeah, I do have a PSEC media Discord server, but like I'm not really advertising it right now or anything, because like I'm still getting used to dealing with Discord and all that good stuff. So I'm mostly just kind of practicing with it. Excuse me, I don't know when or if I'll even use that or what I'll use it for or whatever. I don't know what the future holds. There's too many other things I'm focused on, but for right now, no party system does have some good stuff going. It's small, but it's building, and I think it's safe to say we're not looking to get everybody and their mother in here, but just just people who genuinely want to collaborate and are done with the dick wagging. We're not looking for virtue signalers. Anybody who just kind of wants to join Discord servers and other social media elements and whatever, just to go in and talk about how virtuous they are and how wonderful they are and how terrible everybody else is, and follow them. They're the guru, they're the savior, whatever. Then yeah, we don't need any more like David Hoggs and shit. So like, fuck off. But anybody who recognizes that, hey, the main problem humanity has is this narcissistic back and forth, left, right, dick measuring contest. And, it's important to, to put differences aside and to come together on what we have in common and put on our big boy pants and our big girl pants and, have civil discourse with each other and et cetera, then hey, cool. If you are of that mind, then feel free to hit up the No Party System Discord server, which I will have linked for you for your convenience on the journal entries, especially the DeviantArt journal entry, as expediently as I can. So if it's not there yet, bear with me. And if you need it prior to my putting it there, then please ask me in like a comment on YouTube or a comment on DeviantArt or a DeviantArt note or Facebook message or whatever. Just like, wherever you can hit me up, like ask like, hey man, can I get that Discord link there? And the invite link may very well be on nopartysystem.com as well. Excuse me, I can't say that for 100% absolute fact, and I'm not going to like check into that right this particular second. But if you want to go to nopartysystem.com and check that and see if maybe the Discord invite link is already there, then hey, if it's there and you want to click into that, cool. I'm actually looking at that server right now. I'm in community channel text room general text one right now, looking right at the screen. Alrighty. Another good server that I am on is the Suit Yourself server. Excuse me. Suit Yourself's original YouTube channel got like censorship nuked hardcore. So he's got a new YouTube channel called Suit Yourself 2, spelled T-O-O, not T-W-O, but T-O-O. So yeah, it's obviously a play on words there. Just like Suit Yourself is a play on words, because, he's got like this cartoon version of himself that is typically wearing a suit. And, he also says that, any of his opinions and views or whatever that, he expresses, you can take it or leave it, suit yourself, So it's all nice and play on wordy. And, excuse me. He's also one of those really cool, like Australians, like the type who will will use the word cunt as casually as hello. Those are great. So yeah, so there's that, and I'm also on Count Dankula's server, and it's pretty fun, but it's kind of a hardcore server. I think it can be accurately described as cancer. So, I mean, love Count Dankula, but damn, you gotta have some thick skin to like last on that Discord server. Like seriously, it is so hardcore that like there's like a consent form that you have to sign via a bot that's parked in there in order to get like full access to like the conversations and stuff. So cancer. It's all good fun though. But yeah, cancer. Whew, holy mother fricker. Excuse my yawning. Jesus, I didn't not get much sleep last night at all. My apologies for that. It's just that oftentimes when I'm in this state, which happens more often than not, I'll have a bunch of topics and stuff on my mind. And I'll be thinking, oh man, I need to do a live stream about this, and that. I gotta get these topics out, and da-da-da-da-da. But then once I wake up, like, I take off with my day, and my day kind of takes on a life of its own. And before I know it, freaking hours and hours later, now I'm getting tired, winding down for bed and shit. And it's like, oh man, I wanted to do that stream, but ooh. So like, yeah, I just kind of got tired of being poster child for Einstein's definition of insanity on that. So I'm like, fuck it, tired or not, I'm just gonna I'm just gonna get out and go there and see what happens. Excuse me. Yeah. So anyway, moving on to some of the other stuff. I am backlogged on so many videos. I mean, hell, there's like the community conference calls videos from back in the Bundy rant situation in like 2014 that I'm like still not even halfway through processing because there was so much freaking content. Good Lord. And yeah, I'll still get done with that eventually. I'm also here and there doing my best to try to take the Journeys with Rebecca radio show episodes and, get them online on social media and put them on video. It's like, it takes hella system freaking resources to render video, and any time short of, hell freezing over before completion. So, yeah, one of these days I would love to have a much faster, more efficient system here. So yeah, patreon.com/PSEC media if you want to help out. Anyway, I also have youtube.com/Pawnscape because as many of you may or may not already know, I raise fish and build ponds and stuff like that. And yes, that's a part of my physical business, in which some money is made on that at least. Not through my YouTube anymore. Pondscape channel, among all my other channels, demonetized. Fuck you, Tube. Anyway. So yeah, but there's definitely a physical aspect of that, and I'm going to be continuing to move more and more and more into sustainability stuff and do-it-yourself projects and all sorts of good crap like that. So stay tuned on that. YouTube.com/Pawnscape if want to check that out. I've had that. Excuse me, that YouTube channel since 2007, 2008, something like that. Somewhere in there. I've been there 10 years, give or take. So yeah. Now in the kind of bleed over between the digital and the esoteric. As far as the realms of what you might call spirituality and religion and all that good stuff, and things therein and how it ties in with the geopolitics and technology and everything else. I want to get into some quick points on my latest observations on the good, the bad, and the ugly within esoteric circles. For those of you who like what one might call channeled messages, although there are others who call them different things, and no, I don't think channeled messages are evil, and nor do I think they're an authority either. They're just perspectives and information, and again, just more tools. And if you have no discernment and your head's up your ass and you're just willfully ignorant and oblivious as fuck, then any information is just, it's going to be given the flamethrower to the 3-year-olds. Oh, yeah, grow up and learn to use information if you want to be able to have it actually help you. Otherwise, you're going to be viewing some stuff as a guru authority and other stuff as some demonic dark energy or whatever, and it's going to fuck your brain no matter what you do. So anyway, for those of you who have the maturity to actually process this sort of stuff without either bowing to guruism or running away screaming thinking that it's all from the devil or some bullshit, Yeah, let's not forget that half the fucking Bible was channeled, but yeah, let's forget that. Let's ignore that shit. Anyway, moving on. Barbara Marciniak. Up in the '90s, up until 2012, I would have called her leading edge, but now I would call her extremely entry level. Um, And I don't mean any disrespect to Barbara. I just can't deny that the sky is blue and fire burns. Um, and she's kind of gotten like very hypocritical in recent years. I mean, this isn't a diss, it's just an observation. I think she's kind of become the poster child for a lot of the things her previous messages actually warned against. Warns against mind control and government and corporate stuff and mass media marketing, and not to fall into those traps. And especially with her content, it's like I can tell she has little to no understanding of copyright. Um, she's got the old tyrannical view of copyright, the limited mind control, narrow view of copyright, as many corporations still do. And I mean, I'm just saying, the sky's blue, fire burns. Again, it's not a diss. It's simply an inconvenient fact. It's not a diss. It's not meant as a diss. Saying that the stove is hot is not a diss. It's simply a fact, and if you touch that stove, then it's an inconvenient fact. So again, just wanting to clarify, I'm not attempting to say this in an attacking manner. Um, if you like entry level esoterics and you're curious about her work, by all means, buy the books, buy the CDs, this, that, and whatever. I'm not saying don't. Um, I'm providing my perspective, and I know that's going to piss some people off, and Barbara might even be one of them, but I highly doubt it, seeing that she's also a technophobe, so she's probably not even ever going to know that I said any of this. She actually has no clue just how much people putting her content on YouTube has actually helped her book sales and CD sales and all that stuff. Um, People seem to be under the impression that, like, oh, if you put that out, then sales go down because, then people got it for free, so they don't want to buy it. And like the opposite effect happens, kind of like when you air a movie for free on broadcast TV, DVD sales go up. Buy now to have it home on DVD and Blu-ray. It's like that's a thing. That is a thing, and yeah, people like Barbara just, yeah, don't get that. There's a lot of people that don't get that, but what else? Um, you know, when people have the money and they like to support the author. They like to have the physical stuff in their hands. They like to have their stuff on the shelf. Human beings are like that, and that's not going to change regardless of what you can download for free or not. So that's just kind of the way humans roll. You're not going to change that. So it's kind of a logical fallacy to think that digital media is ever going to change that. Give me a freaking break. Um, so anyway, yeah, Barbara, especially in recent times, I've noticed she's kind of been flipping her shit on this, and now with the copyright stuff, she seems to be allied with corporations that, like, yeah, when you get a freaking DMCA or whatever on that shit, um, their company information is listed, right? And like, you go to their website, doesn't resolve, try to do Google searches on them and stuff. The information is very elusive and convoluted. You start to wonder whether or not it's like some Tom trollery, or whatever. And then you end up finding out that, it is actually a real publishing company that is hooked up with Barbara. And hey, seeing as reality mirrors reality, yet again, totalitarianism mirroring totalitarianism right there. Yeah, hypocrisy 101. Um, so yeah, I just, I wanted to put that out there. And, you know, again, you wanna buy her books, buy her CDs, whatever. I'm not saying don't. But if you want the advanced esoterics course, Barbara being entry level, if you want the advanced esoterics course that has been ongoing for, as long, if not longer than Barbara's been doing it, Cryon through Lee Carroll, all of his stuff is free downloads on cryon.com because he doesn't have a copyright dick shoved up his ass. And I also love how Cryon's kind of a straight shooter. He doesn't bullshit around, just seems to call it like it is. I mean, yeah, people kind of call him the the Pollyanna channel because he focuses a lot on love and all that, but yeah, he's not afraid to face the darkness. It's like he's just like one of the things he said recently is just like, many of you thought that, through the 2012 shift that we were just gonna like be in some like fifth dimensional freaking happy land or some crap, higher vibrational lovey lighty shit. And light has come upon the planet and the dark is kind of noticed. So the dark is coming out to war. You're the target. It's fight, it's battle. Even refers to the army of darkness. So yeah, I mean, he's not pulling any punches here, not trying to be all airy fairy, woo woo, meditate and ignore the world while it burns and think you're going to ascend to the fifth dimension or some bullshit. No, he's very matter of fact about shit. And he talks about things in very practical ways. And so I think that his free downloads on cryon.com are definitely the advanced course, whereas Barbara Marciniak is very entry level, older paradigm. Good if you're coming into this stuff like completely new and you know less than nothing and you're curious, and you have a few bucks to spend, then yeah, cool, buy our stuff if you'd like. But if you want the advanced course, if you want to put on your big boy and big girl pants with the esoterics, cryon.com, not a dime required. Grab that shit for free. Ooh, alrighty. Let's see, what else do I need to mention? I'm getting at this point where like I'm still tired. I'm gonna go through my mind like, all right, stuff I need to mention. Because I know for a fact that as soon as I close this live stream out, or maybe not as soon, but within the hour, I'll be like, oh man, I forgot to mention this, I forgot to mention that. Oh, I better do it next time. Excuse me. I will mention that there's a bunch of different people that I have my eye on and wanting to live stream with and collaborate with, and whatever, have some conversations, some YouTubers, people on social media, this, that, and whatever. And some of these people have responded back to me, and it's just been a matter of schedules, situations, and circumstances kind of getting the stars to align for it, for lack of a better way of saying it. And others I haven't even really been able to approach with an invite yet, so it's kind of on the to-do list. But it's like there's all sorts of people that I'm wanting to live stream with and feature and stuff. Some really cool people, like some of these like really cool like cosplay chicks and stuff who I think are very like good examples of like the brave, empowered female, like that's not third wave feminism, that's like not cancer. So yeah, people like that. And a lot of the female SJ, anti SJWs out there that again, Third wave feminism is canceled, so empowered female example. Um, and yeah, a lot of these people that are online doing like comedy or talk shows or this, that, and the other, kind of getting them on, and not people like who are just, I'm not looking at it like, oh, well, they have a good YouTube channel, so I just want them on because, well, yeah, because they have a good no, I mean, people that I really feel that like I resonate with, like, yeah, their message is fucking powerful. People need to know about this shit, like that kind, like no fucking around. So yeah, I mean, seeing as there's a lot of things right now that are tentative and pending, I'm not going to name names because don't know what the future exactly is going to hold. So don't want to get anybody's hopes up. So this way, nobody's hopes are getting shot down because they were never up in the first place. Excuse me. But yeah, and I definitely want to get into more like tech talk stuff too. Like, I seem to, like the dominating factor of my content seems to bounce back and forth between the esoteric and the geopolitical, and I want a bit more diversity. So I want to like get like some more technical stuff and like other topics and stuff too. And yeah, like I try to toss some Pondscape stuff in here and there when I can on this too. But like, I definitely want to diversify the topics a bit more as best I can. I mean, chances are, this channel will probably always be, predominantly esoteric and geopolitical. But I still would like to have like way more of the other topics than I currently have. So that's definitely something that I am shooting for. Um, Alrighty, I guess I'll wrap that up then. I can't really think of anything else to say right now. So if you like this video or happen to like any others, then hit the subscribe button. Make sure the little bell thing is clicked if you're on YouTube and all that. Or if you're on DeviantArt or BitChute or Dailymotion or wherever the heck you're watching this from, subscribe, follow, watch, like, share, if you found this video even remotely useful. If you find any of my videos even slightly useful, entertaining, whatever, even just a tiny tad worthwhile, like, subscribe, share, follow, watch, yada yada, what else. So yeah, that would be really awesome. Of course, if anybody wanted to like, flip me like $1 a month on Patreon, so I could like, catch up on my backlog video to-do list faster, because it'd be cool to like really actually upgrade this hardware better to like be able to crank out the videos. Like, that would be epic, because that is totally what I would put the money into. That is like, obviously, if money's coming from patrons, I'm gonna, put it into things that have to do with the multimedia work I'm doing. And yeah, I'd like some faster freaking video rendering capabilities, so that I can put out, not only finish my backlog freaking video to-do list for multiple freaking channels here, but even the new videos that come out, be able to have like better, higher quality shit like done in like less time, something kind of just a little sooner than hell freezing over. So yeah, that would be freaking awesome for anybody who wants to do that. So yeah, alrighty, I guess that is it. So have a great morning, noon, night, whatever the heck it is, in your neck of the woods, your part of the planet. Shadley, peace out. And man, this year is interesting and crazy.